This week, Christians all over the world will be celebrating Easter. Talking about Easter and the significance of the season and the great sacrifice that Jesus made for all mankind, we thought it'd be a good time to bring you a conversation about why Christians have left the church, what is being done about the concerns they have, and why should they come back to church. And when we come back, we'll introduce our guests for the day. See you in a minute. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to jump right into our conversation about Christians coming back home, and I'm going to introduce Father Daniel Onyeayana. He is the Associate Pastor of Corpus Chisti Parish in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Welcome to our show, Father Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he's been a priest for almost 11 years. Yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
So, talking about Christians coming home, your initiative in the Catholic Church is called Catholics Come Home.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about this evening. Yeah. But before we talk about Catholics Come Home, I kind of wanted us to talk about why Catholics have left the church in the first place.
You see, well, they must have left based on their own problems.
Okay.
You understand? Not necessarily a universal problem. What made Tom to leave may not be what made John to leave.
Of course.
You understand? So at times it could be conflict of ideas. I don't like this church again. I don't like the pastor. I don't like the teachings. So they left. So
these are some real concerns that people voice to you that I just don't like the church. I just don't like the pastor. Those don't sound like concrete.
You're right.
Enough
you're right.
To leave
you're
the
right.
church.
That is just it. Some people change church because they don't like the pattern of where the priest is preaching.
Okay.
You understand? Or they don't like this doctrine about marriage, for instance, or about baptism, for instance. Must I undergo these disciplines? You know, just that.
Okay.
And some, again, because of some recent happenings in Catholic Church, you understand, that rock the basis of the church.
Right, right. And we have some questions that we wanted to address with you. And those questions came from, you know, when we were preparing to do this show, we did ask people questions. Okay. And a combination of those questions with some of the research that we did, we came up with these questions to ask you. And we're going to ask you based on all of the things that you just mentioned now, you know, personal reasons, problems within the church, and all of those kinds of things. Now, one of the questions that I wanted to go straight to is the one about marriage, divorce, and annulment that you just spoke about. You know, the Catholic Church frowns at divorce but grants annulment. Is this some type of loophole the Catholic Church uses to allow divorce?
Not really. The church holds family to high esteem because family is the bedrock of anything. The church, the society, the world at large. You and I came from family.
Right.
So the church in no way supports divorce. From the scriptures, God hates divorce.
Right.
Catholic Church hates divorce.
Okay.
You understand? That is just it. Annulment is a very technical and theological concept in the church.
Okay.
Annulment is not just go. It's not separation. It's not divorce.
Okay.
You see, Catholic Church can only grant you annulment when they found out the couple are incompatible. And it does not come on a platter of gold. It takes years of scrutiny. And you must engage a canon lawyer and at times also a legal lawyer.
So tell me the difference between annulment and divorce according to the Catholic Church.
According to Catholic Church, annulment is when the marriage is null and void.
Isn't that what divorce is?
Divorce, you can wake up one morning and say, I don't want to marry you again. I'm suing you for divorce.
Okay.
You understand?
But then the judge still makes your marriage null and void at the end of the day.
Yeah. Technically, when the Catholic Church says this marriage is annulled, it means, one, there may be some signs of impediments in the marriage. Okay. Some signs of abuses in the marriage. And the marriage was not contracted according to the norms of the church.
Oh, so then on that basis, because the marriage was not contracted in the church, then they
according to the norms of the church.
According to the norms of the Catholic Church, then that marriage can be annulled.
Sure.
But is this also allowed now if the marriage was contracted according to the norms of the Catholic Church?
Okay. Yes, if there are enough reasons. The church won't advise you to remain in a marriage when you have no peace, when it is clear that your life is in danger.
Mm-hmm.
The church won't even ask you to sue for divorce immediately. The church will employ all her knowledge and strength to make sure that you remain in your marriage. But when it is obvious that somebody's life is in danger, the church will advise you for separation.
Now, separation is different than divorce. Okay.
The church will advise you for separation, whereby you undergo thorough counseling, interventions. When it is clear that you are incompatible, you understand? Then the church will now ask, and if both couples are ready for divorce, based on these, if there's impediments, if there is abuses, if there are things that, very serious in your marriage case, you understand? Then you can go for it. Not just we disagree or we had some fight. No, the church won't allow that.
But I believe, though, that when you mentioned that you don't just wake up one morning and say, I don't want to do this anymore, you do still go through a process for divorce.
Yeah.
And you are advised to see a counselor within a period of time before, it is granted to you. So I'm still trying to understand the difference now. Are you saying it is because of the intervention of the church that makes it an annulment and is different from a divorce?
Yes, if you bring your case to the church.
If
you bring your case to the church.
Okay.
The church will look into your case. If it is something very serious, the church will consider it. If it's not, the church will advise you, go back to your marriage. There's no perfect marriage. Okay. There's no marriage without trouble.
So when that annulment is granted, do you still bear the name of your partner? How is it done?
It depends on the individual.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the lady. If he wants to continue the name, okay. If you don't want, okay. But there's no hard and fast rule that says you must keep the name. No.
Okay. Pretty much the same as a divorce, right? Are the children considered illegitimate at this point?
Of course, nothing will make the children illegitimate. Okay. They are truly the children of the couple. Nothing at all.
Okay. How does the church view single parenthood?
Single parenthood is not marriage.
True.
And single parenthood is not advised by the church. God did not create single parenthood. God created man and woman. God tried single parenthood, did not work out.
How?
Adam was so lonely in the midst of the garden, beautiful things around him. And God said, let us give him a helper.
Okay.
And God gave him a beautiful woman. You see, so that was when it worked out.
And this is real world. A few thousand years after Adam was created, things happen. And then you find yourself in a situation that you don't expect to be in. Still, people find themselves bringing up kids by themselves. That is considered single parenthood, not by choice.
Yeah. The church will not frown at circumstances that brought this to you.
Father Daniel, let's take another question. Okay. This is going over Catholic mysticism and superstitions. Okay. Some have said that the Catholic Church is a cult because of some of their practices, such as venerating Mary, the shrine, statues of saints, and encased bodies. What would you say to those people?
Catholic Church, a cult? Funny. Well, a cult could make some sense. Cult is not negative. We have what is called Marian cult. It means group of people coming to share their views. Now, what are they sharing that makes the cult good or bad?
Okay.
Good. Mary has been a subject of controversy down the ages, and it will continue to be. People are leaving the church because of Mary. People are coming to the church because of Mary. For the sake of divinity and decency, God honored this woman first. God sent an angel to this woman and said, you are full of grace. And the church is doing what God asked us to do. The church is honoring, not worshiping Mary. The church is acknowledging and appreciating the works of those who have lived a good life, whom we can consider in our own time as role model. You have a role model. You have a role model.
Sure.
Are you worshiping your role model? No. Are you worshiping your role model? Nobody is inspiring you. You look up to them. When we see saints, Augustine of Hippo, Saint Monica, and you see a suffering woman, and you want to console the woman who is having pains of bringing up her son, he said, woman, go and read about the story of Saint Monica. And you will see why you must persevere in bringing up your son, even if he's suffering or stubborn. So we are not in any way worshiping these people. We are acknowledging their good job.
The distinction that people try to make with that is Jesus is understood to have died and risen.
Sure.
And so he said to pray to him, right? But now praying through Mary, who died but never rose, is the distinction that people want to be able to make in their minds.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay. Mary did not die. Mary died and was assumed into heaven.
Right.
She was assumed into heaven, body and soul. So I take that back. Mary died, she slept, and assumed into heaven, body and soul. That is a teaching of the church.
Okay.
And it's a dogmatic teaching of the church. Okay. You understand? Well, they are taking Mary like ordinary woman, any other woman, which is correct. She's like any other woman, like you. But she is special. Remember, Christ came into our womb without her breaking her virginity. Is he not special? Remember, and when she gave birth to Christ, she remained a virgin. That is a teaching most non-Catholic can't comprehend. And they run away from the church. Oh, look at, they are worshiping Mary. No, we are not. Christ said he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to me. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Okay.
Fine. We go to Christ through Mary. We go to Christ directly.
But Christ never said, if you need to come to me, you can come through Mary, my mother. He said to go to God, you can go through me.
Right. I would not like to go on ordinary examples because that may take us quite a long time. Okay. But if you go to your Bible, when you read John chapter 2, you see that Christ did his first miracle through the intervention of Mother Mary. The people that invited Christ will have gone to Christ directly. We don't have wine. But Mary did the intervention. The role of Mary is to mediate.
Okay.
And like every other woman, mother, she knows the right time to do the mediation. She knows the right time to ask for this favor. Any prayer prayed to Mary is channeled to Jesus Christ. Any prayer prayed to Mary is channeled to God. So it's like still going to Jesus Christ with the best means you want to go to. If you want to get to someone, you take the best means. And the best means to get to Jesus is through the mother.
Okay, good. And that's the role she's still playing now?
Forever.
Okay.
And going through the statues is also mediation too?
We don't pray to the statue. We don't pray through the statue. We pray with the statue. What does that mean? To remind us, to keep us focused. If you want to do anything, you like things that will help you. So if you see somebody kneeling down before a statue, it's not addressing that statue. The statue is just like a catalyst, so to say. Something that is helping you to lift up your soul, not to be distracted, to meditate very well. You can't pray to a statue, If you flash your minds back to what happened to the Egyptians in the desert, when they were rebelling, murmuring against God, God sent serpent to bite them. And he told Moses, carve serpent, or erect it. Those who are bitten by a serpent, if they look at a carved serpent, they'll be healed.
Oh, so that's the basis
you see?
From which that came.
Not necessarily that base,
okay.
but if God allow healing through a carved image, you understand? Then God is not against us making statues that will make us remain concentrated to the people those statues represent.
Maybe we should talk about confession for a second.
Okay.
One of the questions that came up quite a bit when we were preparing for this is that many people have a problem with confessing their sins to another man who they feel is just as fallible as they are. And you're confessing your sins to another man, so to speak. Are they able to forgive you? Is a mere man able to forgive you? Or why should that person be a channel when you can go directly to God?
Good question. It is lack of understanding.